Well, hello out there. How you doing out there? As a matter of fact, how are you doing, sir? I've got Lord Wynter with me. Welcome to Kettle Whistle Radio once again. Not your first time. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. The first time I was off on the corner, right off camera for Crush Diamond, just as moral support and uh, technical support. That's kind of what I do for them.
100%. And I got a gist of that. So we're welcoming Lord Wynter himself by himself this time. If you guys listened to the show prior to this one, the episode prior to this one, we had Crush Diamond on, all three guys and the fourth member. We didn't get you on camera as much as I would have liked to. Unless you were dodging it, that's always possible.
I'm not officially a member of the band, like I said. I'm more just like help on the back end of things. So
What I understand, big help. You are. Oh, and happy Easter to everybody out there in Peep Land. It's coming. It's on its way. You can't avoid it. We did St. Patty's Day here last time.
we'll just have
So
to make it a thing to come back for all the holidays, I'm guessing.
that's not a terrible idea. And never rule me out on that. Mother's Day is coming.
All right, I'll get my
I
mom
think
on. Let's go.
that's a funny thing. I'm recording on Mother's Day in the morning. I'm getting a band that has. Do you remember a little band called Caius back in the day?
I do not.
You don't. That's probably before your time. Well, this is connection to Caius among Hermano and other bands out west. Dandy Brown and his wife Dawn Brown, who are the Fizz Fuzz. I'll be recording with them. I don't think we're doing it live, but that's gonna be a Mother's Day recording, which will be pretty much fun. So yeah, we're covering holidays, and you're on two of them. So I don't know. After that, I don't know what's after 4th of July. We got to blow some
We'll,
shit.
we'll we'll get a punch card system going.
All right, fiends. Hey, we got Lord Wynter, and that's Lord Wynter. I had to learn this with a Y, not I. Y,
hmm
W-Y, Winter. Where did this name come about, sir? We owe
It
that to them.
That's perfectly fine. My real name is pretty common. There's like 40,000 people with my first, middle, and last combination. It doesn't matter what it is, but I took it and anagrammed it all around, and Winter was the coolest last name that I could come up with. So that's that's what it is. If
Hey, it works. And there's not a ton of you out there. When you look up Lord Winter, I expect to see, oh God, there's gonna be a whole bunch of rappers. And
no,
no, there are not. All right, so forgive me if I forget or I got this wrong. The Intracoastal Club, is this your club?
no, it's actually Tony who was one of
Tony.
the. Yep, Tony with Crush Diamond.
We
It's
met
a
him last time, folks.
mhm.
Yes.
So it's a family-owned establishment between his parents and his wife, and they help run it. I stepped into the scene about 8 years ago at this point.
Hmm.
Tony was needing help running sound, running behind the bar, doing all the bartending and trying to run sound. He didn't want to be one of those clubs that, pointed over there like, "There's the soundboard, figure it out yourself." So we tried to throw in a little bit more of that Southern hospitality touch on it, and try to give, be very attentive to them. I have a hospitality background, so not necessarily a music background. So I tried to bridge the gap with those sorts of things. Like, how can we help you have the best show possible? What do you need from us? How can we work together to make everything really awesome? So it's a lot of learning along the way, and we've met some very awesome people that um, do come from sound backgrounds. Actually, just last week, the band maintenance was there, and JD Winter, unrelated. Um, he's like, "Yeah, I run sound. Would you like some pointers?" It's like, "Hell yeah, brother! Come on, show me some stuff." So it's always good to learn. It, it pays to be humble. It pays to never be the smartest person in the room. I know that's
Oh,
a cliche, but it's so true.
very true. No, no, no. I surround myself with people much smarter than me. And that way I don't look as bad as I actually am. Little trick I've learned from some of the best, really. One of which I gotta say, Perry Farrell, very smart guy, Jane's Addiction. He always said, surround yourself with interesting people, it keeps you interesting. And
Yeah.
you learn stuff, especially technical stuff. And with you, I don't envy you. With the scene changing the way it does musically, and audibly, and my God, sound design. I imagine
Mhm.
what we're looking at right here. How do you keep up with all of it?
Be flexible. It's hard to avoid falling into the stereotypical sound guy, like, "Oh, your guitars are too loud," or all this, that, and the other. So it's like, as opposed to like coming to a situation with those preconceptions in mind, I instantly have to put people at ease. Like, look, feedback is a big thing. for instance. And it's like, is this feedback on purpose? Are you doing this artistically, or is there a problem that we need to work through with the room? Like, if you're not used to a piece of equipment, or you're not used to a room with this side of dimensions, like, let's figure it out and see, oh, you're doing that on purpose. Okay, well, let's work together to get it to where you could still achieve that sound
Mm.
and not kill the system and the audience. Because why would you want to drive your audience away, kind of thing?
Hell yeah, man. And just simple things like having these days, my God, everybody has like bands have monitors attached to their microphones. You
Hmm.
know, how do they know? How does that not feedback? You know, does it in some cases? Uh,
It does. I see a lot of people making the move to in-ear rigs. They'll bring whole
uh-huh.
soundboards onto themselves with splitters off. So, because that's part of the conversation is like, what you need in the monitor is like, oh no, we got it under control. Don't worry about that. It's like, you don't need anything. It's like, no, that's what that huge rack is for. It's like, oh, I thought that was thought that was someone's amp. And then they take off the front and it's like full soundboard with 16 different whatevers in it. So it's like,
Damn.
yeah, just trying to,
There,
again,
well,
just meet in the middle and then help them however we can.
do you think a lot of this goes back to Trent Reznor wheeling in his soundboards like that and having all those stacks? Like,
I think a lot of it is especially for touring bands, they don't know what they're getting into. So
ah,
it's better to have it and not need it, or for the consistency sake of it, always have it. And then if you run across some place where there's a little bit more flair, a little bit more accoutrement, where we can turn on more things, like drummers specifically, just because of how active they are. We have a
mhm.
whole 15-inch monitor back there just for them. That's something I actually learned explicitly from Tony, because he's a drummer and he needs to be able to hear the rest of the stuff that's going on. So
Exactly.
just little things like that just help out. It's like,
Mhm. Yeah, I in the past I've gotten crap about techno and synth pop and bands like that not being bands. You know, it's sometimes I'd say it's more complicated to have live instruments playing the type of music that they play, and trying to do that, execute it live.
hmm
It's
it
very Gary Newman type stuff. And you know, a lot of these and a lot of these bands that are considered techno actually use real instruments anyway. So
absolutely.
my favorite bands, and they've heard about Ministry, you know, went from synth pop to metal and vice versa. And you know, it's just like there's something about that evolution that I find interesting. Watching a band grow, or just you know, like you see it on the daily. Let me ask you, Intracoastal Club. Now, it seems to be a mecca for like all things underground.
We try to. We're very accepting. We're very open. We have had, like I told you in messages before, point A to point B. We've had we do karaoke nights sometimes, and we will catch people that catch the bug. Then, like, they'll get on stage over and over, week after week, and then they'll approach us like, hey, I was tinkering around with something. Can you book me for something just to like experiment out there? It's like, yep, come on in. Let's see what you got. I mean, I know how you sound like. You do karaoke every week, so. Let's let give you a
Dude,
little bit leash and go out of the way.
that is dreamlike. That is honestly, that right there is the evolution of music making. They come in as what they want to have a couple of drinks. They see karaoke. Let's do it. Then they're recording something. That's
Yeah.
incredible. It happens right there in your place.
Hmm.
And I know your sound studio is upstairs from the club. Is that right? From
Nope. Actually, the sound studio, we do
oh,
everything live. We do it. I have a PreSonus digital board, so everything that's mic'd up on stage, even if it's not coming through the front of the house, we're recording individual tracks.
man.
And some people, they're like, again, people that have their own in-ear rigs, for instance, like, oh, we already got that. So it's like, okay, for the people that don't, like, here's it's given the Monday morning like play by play, like, here you go. This is what you sounded like. This is you know
Mhm.
things that you can use to improve yourself, because next time is always going to be better, regardless of how good you did this time. Next time is always going to be better, and try to give them the information to help make that you know
Nice.
improve.
Well, I'm impressed. And I thought that, yeah, when we were interviewing you guys, they were you guys roll upstairs from the
Yes.
club. So that's
That
not the studio though. That's
no,
okay.
that's actually the green room. So that's a little bit quieter. So
A
that's why
little
we had
bit
to go
quieter.
upstairs, because we thought we could get away with being getting everyone quiet. But the combination of having three of them huddled together and then trying to make sure we could hear you and you hear them, it was
Yeah.
too much. So
Well, I imagine that floor vibrates quite often.
absolutely.
Um, Oh, let's see. All right. So this is one of my favorite kinds of shows, and you happen to be on it right now. When we just like we were introducing new bands en masse. I opened up with a band called Grosh, GROSH. And if I'm pronouncing that wrong, my buddy Brian Heesen will come at me. He's a promoter over the UK. I don't know what you thought of that, but we started off the show with that one. And I sent you that one and another one, Wild Plains, which we'll hear later on. But you came with an arsenal of your own stuff as well.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
yes, you did. If to name, well, we could start off with one because I want to give them a taste initially. But this one, let's see. Grace, you told me it was spelled in
Yeah,
a
Grace Sare, and she does the
yeah.
alphanumeric changes, E's to
Yes.
threes for leet speak. But yes, yes.
And how did she come about? Is she herself? Was it a band? Was it
Nope,
just a
she's all herself. She's one of the ones I want to say started on that karaoke track, but I may be wrong on her. But she's definitely very popular with the youth. But gets the crowds going. Is very genuine and herself out there. So no two experiences are ever the same either. So it's always interesting to see, even
oh,
though she's playing to her tracks,
I
new
was
takes
looking
that she's doing
for
on it.
I was looking forward to your text with and when you were sending me music because I didn't know what I was gonna get. And that's like Christmas to me.
Hmm.
I'm one of these people that needs, and I think we talked about this and with Erica as well. Um, I need I need fed new music constantly because it's just a thing. If you tell me, I don't know. You just say, I sent you a bunch of songs in your email. I'm going to do everything I can to get to that email as soon as possible and listen to all of them all the way through. I can't do that, fast forward through. I'm going to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, you got
Grace
to
is
give it the
great.
tape experience or the
Completely.
radio experience.
Exactly. And you want to know what you're getting and you might miss something, like where's the breakdown or what. But Grace, I checked out and I went on YouTube, took a chance. There's videos.
Yep.
And I saw Take It was another song.
Hmm.
I dug that too. So when Grace shows up, Grace, sorry, you said, right?
Hmm.
And when she shows up, is it just her? Does she have anybody get on
It,
stage?
it it's just her, a laptop, and some sort of vocal effect pedal, and then
Okay.
she gets up there and dances around and jumps out in the crowd and gets everyone moving. So it's always a good show. Um, One of the video things that we may get to is, again, because we record everything at the club level, we also record video, so of the performances after the fact that we're mixing down and trying to give some sort of, people that don't have any sort of thing to give. Oh,
Right.
I'm trying to go on tour. Like, well, what do you sound like? Well, here's like a CD. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. Everyone's got a CD or whatever, but like, here's a YouTube link to my last performance with all the crowd. You can see with how many people I'm bringing, kind of thing. So yeah,
I dig it. I dig it. And I did dig it. All right. Well, we're going to give them a taste of it so they can get to hear what Grace Sorry sounds like. And we're going to get right back here with Lord Wynter, who's brought some toys for us to play with. And we'll be right back. Thanks for listening, folks. All right, folks, friends, and fiends. I hope you enjoyed Grace. And it sounds like that's a lively experience in the Intracoastal Club when she's there.
very much. Yes, the people, like I said, the friends that she brings, the fans that she brings, people were singing her songs with her, knowing the lyrics. Last time she played just this past weekend. So
Well, okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you. You said that you had shows Friday and Saturday night. She was one of them.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
she actually headlined Saturday night.
Oh, cool. Very cool. And
Yep.
actually, you could probably hear my producers in the background barking. It happens. And it's just,
You may have seen my wife walk by, but then I forgot I have this effect on. So,
oh, that's so funny. Does she go in and out of the
oh no, she just passed
background?
once. So.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh no, that's you should have her do that more often. Very fun. But so explain what a crowd is like at that club. Like say this past Saturday. What do you get? Do people trickle in? Are they does it fill up real quick or
We're accidentally enough big fans of punk rock time. So
oh
we'll
nice.
say, doors at 9 and show is gonna be at 9:30. Well, if the crowd's not there, we can do the math and, well, how long's your set? Well, how long's your set? We'll figure it out from everyone and get a feel for it, and maybe
Wow.
maybe a little bit later, but no, we've noticed a later crowd, but we're doing everything we can to just make sure everyone can hear all the music that we bring. So
So you have that freedom to move and put on shows at the time you want to. Do you go out like all night?
We go till 2. 2 is when we have to close. So
That's the thing. I know. I guess that's the rest of the states. When I lived in New York, it was always 4 a.m. and
mhm.
I think 2 was probably the ordinance. But some places can pull it off. Do you guys go later than that sometimes?
Nope, never.
You just can't do it. You get fines, right?
Correct.
They come
We
after you.
don't want to we don't want to risk the beautiful place that we've cultivated with everybody. We don't want them to lose out on the experience
I
of where
totally
the safe
understand.
space that we provide for them.
There's so many people that want to cancel everything these days. So yeah, I agree. Play it the safe route and you keep playing.
Hmm.
That's the thing. Art. So when you have like-minded people walk in there, everybody's kind of open to new sounds.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, especially if you're looking at the bill of what's going on and okay, well, like for instance, someone's like, I'm not that big into metal. It's like, okay, that's fine. If you're not into metal, come anyway. Just come check it out. Maybe your mind will change. Maybe you'll see a shirt that you like. Maybe you'll see some art that they've done that you're interested in. You
Yeah,
just come support people that are coming support us by performing for us. So we the only rule that we really have is written on the wall is be nice or leave. So as long as you're not being a dickhead, come on, check it out.
I love
Good
it.
time.
That is awesome. And I guess you maintain pretty well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think in the 7 years that we've been there, there's ever been a huge incident. It's kind of self-regulating. Everyone's trying to be relaxed and groovy. So
I just knocked on wood for you because I want to go visit. I don't want you guys to run into any trouble. Maybe I
yeah.
should stay away. I don't know.
Are you gonna bring trouble with you?
There are people that can vouch for that. Yeah, it just happens. But yeah, I know a lot of weird people. Well, like I'm surrounded by them sometimes. But yeah, including my producers out in the hallway barking.
But to
Uh,
bring it to a point, like a lot of the clientele is active in it. A lot of the decorations that we have around, a lot of the art pieces were either curated or created by people that attend the club and go hang out there. Like behind the DJ booth, behind where the soundboard is, my wife has all of her artwork hanging up for sale, or just come check it out and look at it. But yeah, we everywhere playtime you go someplace, look someplace else. It's like, oh hey, we added something new. Or it's like, oh, was that there before? It's like, nope, that's been there for years. So you're only
that's
just now
awesome.
noticing it. So I
How awesome is that? What's your capacity in the club?
think 250, maybe three. That's above my pay grade to know that.
That's
I just got to make it sound good.
I know, no, that's cool. Actually, that's a good round number because yeah, because then everybody can enjoy it and you're not packed like sardines.
Yep.
In my day, there was this place on Long Island called Sundance. Frank Cariolo was the guy in charge of it, and it was a hole. It really was. But you know what? You loved going there. Same idea, but it was strictly mostly metal, hardcore punk.
Hmm.
Guar played there. I used to go see
Nice.
Metal Church whenever they came into town. They were like one of my favorite metal bands from back then. But yeah, I mean, you stuck to the floor. There was an
Mhm.
inch of muck and beer, sometimes blood. Who knows? The mosh pit. I mean, if you mosh, it was like diving off of a desk. It was just like the stage was the size of maybe the room I'm in right now, and maybe about 4 feet off the ground. But you loved going there. There was a community. It didn't matter. They could play loud, they could play late. Anything you wanted to see was usually coming there, or had been there. I love those type of establishments. It sounds like your establishment is a lot cleaner.
We try.
Yeah, well, you serve more drinks than 250 a beer, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, what are the like what's highlighted there? Say I walk in the door there, what can I expect like on a Friday evening, 7:30?
Our smiling door person to check your ID to make sure that we're up to code and all that stuff. Let's see, right to the right of there, you would have the game room, is what we call it, with the pool and the darts. We have a TV in there that's actually running a stream of whatever we're producing onto all of the televisions throughout the club. We have a lot
Cool.
of analog televisions that I've recovered and repaired and have going. We have a pirate television station that broadcasts throughout the club. So we have a camera that's trained on the stage. So even if there's a huge crowd in front of you, all you got to do is turn and look at the TV and you'll be able to see everything that's going on. So um, that, and then you walk in, and it's a huge room. It's got 12-foot ceilings. That's a recent development.
Oh wow.
The building, from what Tony's told me back in the day, used to be a lumber yard. So it's changed hands many of times since then. But before Hurricane Ida, we had very low, very nasty drop ceilings. But during Ida, the roof got ripped off, and we had to take all that out. So we
Wow.
discovered all this new space. So everything that we were doing sonically before that, and like a little shotgun Pringles tube, got all this extra space to do, explore more and breathe more, and it gives it much more of a, not cathedral. That's a little too ridiculous, but it's much more
I
homey.
get it. I get it. Yeah, you got the acoustics now.
Hmm.
That sounds like my kind of place.
You'd love it.
I plan on going there. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna pull it off somehow. I gotta come see you guys. Okay, now you sent this band ZCAB.
It's
Z
Scab,
is it Scab?
just
Okay,
Scab.
I said ZCAB. I
That's
believe,
all good.
but Scab. I like that
Hmm.
better.
Hmm.
You know what? I actually know a band that starts with a Z that's not ZCAB. I don't want to say their name now because it's probably wrong how I've been saying it for years now. But yeah, so Scab. Now, can you explain this? This is obviously, I want to say dance, ambient, techno.
Yep. From this is one of our good longtime friends, Matt. Matt is very talented musically. He's one of those people that will pick up an instrument that I've never seen before, and he'll just take a few minutes and kind of figure it out. It's like, I didn't know you knew how to play that. It's like, I didn't either, but here we are. So he had a few projects that he was doing before. One of them was Radians, where it was much more dancey, more 80s feeling, very, very retro. But then he started got the bug for analog synthesizers, analog electronica, and then he's just been experimenting with this for the past 3 or 4 years at this point now.
Was he one of your karaoke people?
He was not. He's been musical even before I ever knew him. So he was in bands all throughout high school and whatnot. So
Also on YouTube, folks, you could see Weaving, the song we're
mhm,
about to play. I yeah, I had that in the background. I actually was getting a lot of stuff done while listening to it. I ended up listening to it over on repeat.
very
Uh,
much so.
Very cool. But so yeah, what they do in this place, guys. I mean, I'm amazed that karaoke people that perform karaoke end up recording, and I love it. But this guy's an exception. He just came in, or was he? I didn't notice. Was there a lot of scab stuff on YouTube? I saw a few things. I don't know if it's all him.
He actually, we were doing math on it right at the beginning of the year. He is one of the most consistently highly rated, highly viewed video that WYNTERWERX, which is the YouTube channel that we release
Yeah,
the
yeah.
recordings on. He's one of the most viewed. So literally, I'll release a video on a Monday, and on a Wednesday, it's like, Matt, you've broken your record since last time. I don't know if you have a robot out there, if your fan club's just that big, but always everyone loves it. It's always amazing to see.
And they're all gonna hate me for saying ZCAP. Sorry, folks. But Scab. Yeah, we're gonna listen to Weaving. Yeah, I saw that. I'm glad you made mention. Did you say what's it? Winterfex?
WYNTERWERX. It's the
Winterworks.
it's
That's on
the
YouTube.
hmm
It said, yeah,
yes.
it's right here. You could look, folks. It's gyrating when he talks. Yeah, I saw a lot of stuff, and I wasn't sure if that was affiliated with all you guys. I should have, knowing Winter with a
Yeah,
Y.
that's me.
Yeah. So, what do you update that weekly, monthly?
I do what I can. The workflow has been, I mean, you obviously would understand this, but every time I learn a new lesson, it's like, well, everything I've done prior to this sounds terrible, and I need to throw it all away. It's like, well, no, I'm going to keep it because obviously, for posterity and for, oh, remember where we did however many years ago. But no, I actually just got another little helper that's going to start putting videos together because again, we're recording, for a band, we're recording anywhere from 8 to 12 tracks,
Oh,
plus an extra microphone for to get the crowd noise, plus one or two angles of a club, which I know it doesn't sound like much, but
no,
add that
that
in.
sounds like a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Huh.
I get it. No, I get it.
Yeah,
What you're
yeah.
trying to achieve, and then make it sound good
Hmm.
and not come across as too old MTV-ish, which can
Oh,
be
yeah.
classic too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's a
depends on the
lot.
act. Yeah. But
It's a lot.
I know sometimes before the again, every improvement's going to make next time better. But some of the recordings would sound bad but look awesome. But they sounded great in the room, but because of how the recording happened, yeah. So, and then we'll never sacrifice the live performance to get the recording in. So hopefully we're dialing things a little bit better to where that's a more of a one-to-one representation. But yeah, they're not all winners, but they're all there.
But they're all winters.
They are all winters.
Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, I had to pull out the cheese factor there. What is ideally, do you want your space there to become like a place where bands come do a live show and record it every time, or do you want them to get their recording and next time they just play and they don't have to worry about recording this time around? Or is it like something you
It,
want to do every time?
it's something that we're trying to do every time until we can get a consistent enough system going, because again, people that come back over and over again, I'll mention Matt again. It's like, hey Matt, you got the same setup? It's like, yeah, I got the same setup. It's like, do you mind if I experiment a little bit on something going on? Because I know people are gonna watch you. I know you're gonna sound good here. I know you're gonna sound good there. Is it okay? Oh yeah, go do whatever you got to do. And
Well,
so
think on this while we let them hear the song. We're gonna hear "Weaving" by Scab, and when we get back, I wanted Lord Wynter's how he looks at this when they come in with their own ideas and their own equipment and want to make adjustments and adaptations to yours, and how do you feel about that? All right, we'll get right back, folks, and this is Scab. And we are back, folks. And I had picked Lord Wynter's brain with, are people allowed to play with his toys when they come in there with their own ideas and equipment? What happens when they show up and say that they want to do this? Oh, this speaker over here, I don't like that. Oh, we got to move these mics.
we're very, very open to a lot of things. Again, I assume if people have that kind of request, they know what they're talking about. They
Hmm.
can assess the situation. It's like, we can do it your way, but let's try it mine. And like I said, I'm a very, very large proponent of let's experiment. Let's figure it out. Like if like especially for guitarists, for instance. I hate to keep going back to that, but it's hard sometimes to get them to a place where we can record. So it's like, hey, I noticed that you have this record out, or I noticed there's this jack that you're not using. Are you comfortable with like trying this out so we can get you good in the recording? Um, for instance. And then some people will like, no, don't touch my stuff. We don't want to do none of that. Or like, no, we're gonna do it this way. It's like, okay, fine. Or again, going back to the stereotypical sound guy thing, it's like, could you turn down a little bit? And he's like, no, being loud's my tone. It's like, all right, that's fine. Go,
You're ruining my mojo.
yeah, get out of my way. It's like you melted everyone's faces off, including mine, which I'm here for you, but so no, in terms of and it's very collaborative, especially for the visual side of things that we put on. This what I'm doing here, I just kind of threw together because it amused me. So we'll try to find for the live shows, we'll try to find their logo. We'll try to find what kind of video you like. Someone explicitly like, hey, could you put on Friday the 13th? You got Friday the 13th? It's like, yeah, I got that. It's like, put on this really obscure, put on Scanners. It's like, all right, I don't think you want the whole movie. I think you want just a couple scenes. He's like, yeah, you're
We know
right,
the
man.
scene.
Yeah, yeah, we
We
know
know.
exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, and it's like people will get. I can't tell you the number of times because looking if you're standing at the back of the room where the soundboard and DJ booth is, along the wall leading up to the stage is a bunch of analog TVs that are again showing the camera feed from the stage, showing the visuals that we've collaborated with and got together. I can't tell you the number of times of significant others and people involved with the bands will sit there and pull up their phone and be like, "Ooh, look at that! That's really cool!" And it's like, "Haha, I got another one." Everyone's super excited. So
Well done. Well played.
yeah,
No,
try to get everyone again. Coming from a hospitality, it's trying to not be adversarial. It's trying to be very collaborative. It's trying to be very, what do you need from us? This is what I can give you. This is what I'm willing to do, which is pretty much everything, as long as it's not going to hurt the system, not going to hurt the crowd, not going to hurt sales. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we're still a bar, so.
but you win them over with your evil. That's but yeah, so you're not getting a whole lot of you got to move the spit guard. I got blood spittle that I want to spray about the place. You don't really get a lot of complaints like that, I guess.
Nah, nothing that we can't accommodate for. We do have a semi-monthly event called Synth Therapy, which is it's heavy EDM. And they bring all of their own equipment. All I'm there for is just to liaise between them and the club. And it's like I'm an
Hmm.
extra pair of hands, extra pair of like we should probably plug this over there, put this over there, and it's like kind of thing. But that's one of the most involved in like changing the whole scene of the club. That's really the only example that we really have. Everyone else is much more relaxed and groovy about like, we're just here to put on a show, man. Yeah, we can do
That
that.
would that would stress me out. Bringing all that, I'd be worried about how the segue into the adaptation of what you already have established there. I guess it works out because everybody knows what they're doing.
No, yeah, and we've worked with them for many years at this point, and again, I keep saying next time is going to be better, so like always better. So we've gotten it down to a pretty good. Oh yeah, they're coming. They're actually coming Friday, so I already know what my Thursday evening is going to be. Is planning the switch over of things and go over the whole dossier of what we have going on. So yeah,
Well, it's about time I ask you, Lord Winter, what is your musical background? Where did you cut your teeth musically?
I had a little bit of everything. I actually don't perform music. I'm a tech for everybody else. Um, I know some of the formative things. I'm from South Louisiana, obviously, and literally everyone in my family had their own little thing to add into it. Dad was into the classic rock, and mom was into R&B, and grandma and grandpa were into the swamp pop. My uncle actually worked for KNSU, which is the radio station for the local college. So a lot of whenever I first woke up, to consciousness, he was the first one that, was really showing me off to stuff. So it's like I remember listening to Beck's Odelay for the first time, and it's like I don't understand what he's saying, but I like his words. Like it sounds cool. So but that was, you know, that was from growing up, and then found the internet, and then got caught in. I don't know if you remember Winamp's Shoutcast.
I do.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, so I,
Yeah.
I was
I
I
still
was
mess
deep.
around with it a little, but not so much that, but I mess around with Winamp every now and then.
Dude, I love Winamp. I'm not using it for this, but I use
Yeah.
Winamp's Milk Drop. I don't know if you remember that, the visualizer. I use
Yes.
that. I
Yes,
use
yes,
that a
yes.
lot exclusively, and you can always tell whenever someone is of the age that knows what Winamp is, and they'd be like, "Is that?" It's like, "Yes, it is."
Oh man, yeah, I was using that early 2000s, and yeah, literally because I'd set up a song list for parties, and basically the visualizer, I'd sit here and zone out by myself staring at that, trying to cue up
Mhm.
the music for downstairs. Just
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, this is fun. Winamp was really cool for what, and there's a lot of things Winamp had that these newer programs do not have. They don't offer the same. They're not as good. I don't know if you've run into that at all. I'm sure that you probably
It's
surpassed that with other things, but
it's a case by case basis. I do know
yeah.
that we do like, for instance, the handful of rap artists that we have come in, they'll hand me
Yeah.
their tracks, and
Mhm.
I will, instead of being their DJ and adding that whole extra level of like, well, which we have done before, but it's something to offer them. It's like Winamp actually has a web server built in to where if you connect to our Wi-Fi, you can
Yeah.
control the tracks. You can push play whenever you want. You can push pause. You can go to the next song. And that's
Right.
something that we are like, hey, like let's work together, and like, here, do you want to be in control, or would you like me to help you, or we could do whatever you want. So
So you do get R&B acts as well, or is it strictly rap?
no, we get a little bit of everything. I
Really?
would be remiss to say that we've had a little bit of everything. Tony does an amazing job booking, because Tony is the guy who does all the booking. So
Yeah, I talked to
it,
him before we did the interview. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's always interesting to see, well, what's coming up next. So
Man, I'd be thrilled the next time we talk, we gather some R&B and some rap. We've had a deficit of good stuff. I've got a guy coming on pretty soon, Jay Asadi, who's been around for a while. But yeah, I would like to get a little more of that on here, as well as metal.
yeah,
It's funny, metal has gone by the wayside. As far as the music we've been playing, we've a lot of alternative, a lot of punk and industrial too, but just flat out metal. I don't know. Do you guys get a lot of metal bands there? I
Yes,
know you
yes,
get
we
a
do.
few. You
Oh
definitely
yeah.
had what is it? Eucharist.
Decaying Eucharist. We
Decaying
had
Eucharist,
we had
yeah.
I Hate God. We had
Well, I knew that. Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They're like
And
the
then
kings of that.
I know, right? Let's
Jeez.
see,
You
trying
got a classic. You never got COC. Did we talk about that? Corrosion of
no,
Conformity? I'd love
not
to.
that I'm aware of, no. But one of the things I have to constantly remind people in my life nowadays is, hey, you know this one band? It's like, no, it's like a constant, like I'm waking up every day to something new. So it's like, hey, you remember that? It's like, I think I worked sound for them before. It's like, oh, you remember loving them? It's like, probably, like, bring it on, let's go. We'll just So it's very. I know a lot of people say like, oh, I like all kind of music. It's like it's very
Mhm.
rare to see like, not that. Like, no, like bring it on, whatever you got. It's got a beat, doesn't have a beat, whatever. What you got? Let's see, kind of
I
thing.
love it. Yes, have a beat and rhythm. I'm gonna now. I know I have to pick your brain after this next thing. This next bit, I got to put my George Romero glasses on for this one, because a buddy of mine who's having a hard time. Actually, he had a rough. I can't talk about everything going on with him, but Brian Heason, one of our promoters, Brian Heason, he's over in the UK. And this next one is a shout out to him. And he's a music promoter from across the pond. And the band is Wild Plains. I sent you that. The song is Say My Name. It ends up that they're a New York band, a trio, and they've been around 5 years, and they played Sturgis to Rocklahoma, sorry, and they opened for CeeLo Green, Climax Blues Band, and one of my favorites from back in the 80s, Kix, Kix.
Huh,
Remember Kix? They were before your time.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I don't like using the term hair band, but they were one of the roped into that category, but they're just good rock and roll.
Yeah,
But Wild Plains, we're gonna play a song right now from them. Did you give it a shot? I don't know if you gave that one
I
a
did. I
listen.
enjoyed it. Like
Did
I
you
said,
like that?
there's very few things that I won't enjoy, and that was definitely one of them. It reminded me of something, but I can't remember what. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'll text you like 3 weeks from now. It's like, hey, you remember that one thing? And be like, no. It's like, here, we send the link. It's like, this is what it was. This would remind me of. So
Yeah, you're
be
right.
on the lookout.
We're like-minded. We have an ear for it, so it is going to remind us of something down the road, and it's
Mm.
bothering me. But I'm kind of glad that I don't know right now. But I got to read a couple of things about them before we play the song here. This is kind of funny. Comedians, yes. Big J Okerson. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Him and Don Jameson, I guess, are fans of this band or witnessed them. Don Jameson, if you remember him from that metal show with Eddie Trunk, but he also comedian. He says he said he's quoted as saying about this band, Wild Plains, you guys are the Duran Duran of our time. Now, I don't know if I hear that. They're definitely bluesy rock and roll, I think.
Yeah.
I guess that maybe there's some things here I don't know about them yet, but we're gonna play that real quick. And yeah, and then I was gonna pick your brain on how you feel about rock and roll, but I have a very spot on question regarding that when we get back here with Mr. Lord Wynter, all the way from New Orleans. And it is Houma, right?
It's
You're in,
Homa.
oh yeah,
Actually,
that's where you
I
guys
don't know
are.
if you can see the
Yeah, yeah,
Homa records, so I'm friends with them.
absolutely. Big time. All right, we'll be right back, folks, and thank you for listening.
Right on.
Right on. All right, I'm back here with Lord Wynter, and we're just discussing, again, all the greatest conversations happen off the air on this show. One of which is those old days. Now I go back to cassettes, you CDs, both of us CDs. What did you say about that?
So
What are the kids?
even with everyone streaming, you can't smell ones and zeros.
You can't smell ones and zeros. When you open that case and you had that new car smell, there was new cassette smell.
Mm.
Probably carcinogens for all we know.
Microplastics.
Yeah, we're getting our zeros and ones all right to the bloodstream. But yeah, Wild Plains. Thank you to Brian Heason for that tune. Now I want to ask you this one, sir. When somebody, I kind of get annoyed at this because it's not. I don't find it to be true. These days, when you ask kids or you ask anyone, what do you listen to? Oh, I listen to everything. I listen to everything.
Hmm.
Sure, but what do you like is really what I'm asking. What do you do? Like, do you ask them to be more specific? Like, do you like guitars? Do you like to bounce a little bit? What do you like? You can't like everything.
Well, you try to get a vibe. Like, what are you going for? Are you trying to like relax, hang out? Are you trying to are you trying to move? Are you trying to dance? Are you trying to trying to get lost in the experience? Or yeah,
Yeah.
it's about what you're wanting the music to actually do, is from my experience.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. Yes. Do you want to go dancing? Do you want to headbang? Do you want to mosh? Do you
Yep.
just want to sit in your car? Do you want to cruise?
Yep.
And like when people, the other one is just like, why do we have to have a genre? Why does a band have to sound like this? Because I want to know if I'm seeing The Cure or the Beach Boys. I do
Mm.
want to know. There's a big difference in my mood.
Yeah, but even within one band, like they can span so many different things. So it can really go either way. Is what I feel. So that's for instance, whenever someone starts to, oh, it's post this, pre that, and like proto whatever, and it's like, I hate to keep going back, but does it sound good? I mean, they're obviously putting some sort of craft into it. Does that show? Because, or if even if not, it could. I know we've definitely had um noise sets, not to deride on any artist or genre or anything like that.
sure.
Noise sets where it's like, if you would go into it in a vacuum, not expecting it, it's a whole different experience than saying, Doug over there is about to start playing pots and pans as an experience, as okay, well, as art, that's different than, your drunk friend over there falling down the stairs. Oh, that was a funny sound. Shit, we should have recorded that, like, kind of thing. So,
Oh, I know people that do that too. I'm okay, but tell me it's experimental,
right.
that I'm cool with that. I'm cool with
Yeah.
that. I have got, as a matter of, when we go out the show, it's not necessarily experimental, but we're gonna go out with a guy that's a sound designer. I call him a composer. He makes soundtracks to horror movies, and we're gonna go out with something from him. But that's my buddy Chris Carbone. More on that later. But yeah, I like specifics when, like, when you meet somebody, like, what do you listen to? Like, I'm talking to you right now. Like, what you're gonna go get in your car? What are you gonna put on? What would you put on right now?
I have been going back to new metal from the late 2000s. So like System of a Down
Yeah,
is what
sir.
I've been listening to, a lot of that Surge's solo stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
and then one of the benefits that I do enjoy of streaming is, okay, I'll play 5 or 6 songs, not necessarily just from them, but just, okay, well, that reminds me of this song that I like. That reminds me of this song. And then I'll just let the robot show me more stuff. It reminds me of things that I haven't seen. It's like, and then
Yeah.
finding new bands that I would have never found otherwise.
Yes.
So it's definitely a little bit of everything. Uh, the vibe is now trying to be funny. I know I don't know how big they are. I haven't looked into it, but Bicycle. I've been listening to a lot of Bicycle because, again, it amuses me. There's a song about being a Yeti, so why not?
Hey man. Well, hey, I grew up with, well, I can't say grew up, but when I was old enough to appreciate all forms and experimental and you name it, Mr. Bungle paved the way for me, but Primus,
Yeah,
early Les Claypool stuff, I shouldn't have liked that. I was listening to like Pantera, Megadeth, and all that, and suddenly I took this little segue. And like, oh, this is interesting. It was kind of like when, earlier years, I was listening to Foreigner when I was a kid, and then I heard Queen. I heard Queen, and I
yeah,
thought, oh, well, wait a second. Okay, this is different. Everything's different on this.
yeah.
Faith No More did that for me, where every song is so different from the next. Just open things up. And I guess I could see that with you too. Yeah. Do you get bored easy and you're always looking for new sounds?
I will definitely drive a song into the ground. I'll listen to like the same 5 or 6 things, and it's like, okay, I got to listen to something completely different. So like,
Yeah.
unless it goes on the Get Shit Done playlist, that's a lot of like either very angry metal or very hard driving techno EDM. I like the artist, the French artist, the Algorithm. I listen to a
Yeah.
lot of him, whatever. It's like, okay, I need to just zone out and not pay attention to the music and just let the music be there to like distract me so I can get whatever I'm
Oh,
doing done.
yes.
So
Oh, yes.
that,
We see eye to eye.
yeah,
Definitely. And one of the brand, the next band we play, the third one you gave us, is familiar to me in the form of Godflesh. I use them as that's my ambient music
mm-hmm,
to create and get shit done. Lately, Gojira. Gojira does it for me. After I saw them live, they just rocked my world. There's a weirder one along the lines of metal, and he experiments all over the place back in the strapping young lad days. But Devin Townsend, I look at him as a genius. And like you said, some things are on repeat. For me, the song "Addicted" by Devin Townsend project, Canadian. That song was in repeat. If I'm creating, for some reason, there's something about that, and I just eat it up. I just eat it up. Okay, now back to the club though. Is it a touristy place?
We'd like to think so, especially, if you go hit up the Houma subreddit or the South Louisiana subreddit, it's like, what's something to do, and you'll always see people pop up. It's like you should go check out the Intracoastal. I know it was either last year or the year before we made the top 25 nightclubs in the U.S. on USA Today. So
Congratulations for that.
that's something, yeah.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, it's one of those. It's a very nondescript building. The previous owners were a little bit less accepting, which is, we're definitely not them. So we'll see. Come on in, check it out. Is it your vibe? Is it your groove? No, but we'll accept everybody. So
Well,
we get bands that go through, go home and they'll tell other people, hey, you got to go to this place, you got to come play over here. So that's always, again, a good sign, I feel.
oh, I totally agree with that. Word of mouth, forget it. That's why I have a show. And like as a way, I'm kind of feeding off of you right now because you are opening up my library to new stuff. And I'll be tuning into your did you say you have like a feed where we can listen to what you guys are playing?
It's a YouTube channel that we record the live
Yeah.
performances and then
Recorded.
post
Okay.
them. Yeah, so
You
we
ever
don't.
okay.
There's a million reasons why we're not going to go live I mean,
Yeah.
because if you
Yeah.
can skip out paying the cover, or if something horrible happens or whatever, and it's a lot of headache overhead to run. So we're
Smart.
not there yet. Maybe one day, but not yet.
Very smart. Very smart. Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't change anything. And especially if I say to do it, don't do it. Unless you're really ready to take a leap. You don't need it. It sounds
Yeah.
like you just got the right thing going on. How often does, I don't know if this, we kind of touched on it, but I'm not sure, like, to the point if it really, you have a group of people in there, they're doing karaoke and ask you, like, can we record this? Like, does that happen in the middle of a Saturday night with a full club full of people?
Not
Or
not 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 typically. We have, like, I've noticed certain people, like, I'll just record them. It's like, hey, I noticed that, like, you're not just some random drunk, and even if you are, like, you happen to be able to sing pretty okay. I'll approach sometimes, like, hey, we got a recording, you can use it, because again, it's practice for me. It's practice for whenever it's, big game day, like,
yeah.
so. So sometimes it's me approaching them, but that's very rare occurrence. So.
Okay. I was just wondering if there was that spontaneous. That sounds like it would be a lot of work. And
We
then
can we can do that. The system is always primed for that, but it's about 5 or 6 extra flip switches to make it happen. So you got to
wow.
really want it.
And then you also have to, I guess your audience must really want it too.
Hmm.
I guess they would. I would never, if somebody said we're gonna put on the house lights and record a session, I'd be like, yeah, I want to watch this.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if everybody's like that, but
Some do, some don't.
yeah. Okay. This next gift you gave me, Psychic Bastard.
Hmm.
Is this a three-piece unit? What?
This is two. This is Cody on guitar and vocals and electronics, and then Renee on bass.
Okay.
So it's twofer.
It's definitely, oh well, it's my kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how many bands you get like this, but I was digging this, and you already know with
Mm.
my Godflesh background there that I just, it just hit a nerve.
Yeah.
And it's been a few bands. I mean, I think Godflesh kind of paved the way with their own genre in a way. I know they borderline doom, death, and industrial, but I think they're just them. Um, like how Deftones kind of did the same thing. I think they started a genre, but it's just them doing their,
Yeah.
you know. Is that how this band is?
That's how it feels. Yeah, they definitely have their influences, and they definitely, um, especially during the first couple of times that we worked together, Cody was very specific with how he wanted things set up. So it was always, again, goes back to that philosophy of, like, if you're if you have the confidence to sit there and ask me for XYZ,
Mhm.
I assume that you know what you want and why you want it. I need to learn why you're doing that. Maybe I can apply that in the future. So yeah, always learning, always helping out.
What's a set like with them? I mean, do they blow the place up? Because it sounds like they have the potential to do that.
They can, yeah, they have. Yeah, it gets you know what metal shows are like. It gets loud.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've gotten much damage, much a shotgun to my ears with that stuff.
We
Being
we try to mitigate that as much as possible, but at the end of the day, if you're going to a metal show, you know what you're getting involved with. I mean, there's only so much that we can control sonically because I can't remember what band it was specifically, but it was everyone was complaining about something. It's like, hey, we can't hear this, we can't hear that. And it's like, I wasn't trying to be a dick, but I was like, that guy's guitar is too loud. Can you turn it down just a little bit? And he locked me dead in the eyes and he's like, oh, yeah, bruh, as he continued to turn it up to 11. It's like, okay,
uh,
well, here we go.
okay. Where are they from? Psychic Bastard. Are they nearby?
They're from Houma. They may say that they're from the New Orleans area, but I know that, from Houma and its surrounding area.
Okay. And did I miss a lot, or are they fairly new?
No, they're fairly new, only in the past they did something in 2021, released an album on like a demo album on Spotify, but no,
Oh,
they primarily play in New Orleans. I don't know if you've heard of the club Babylon. They seem to be
yes.
big
Yeah,
fans of that, and there's a huge metal scene in New Orleans that
I
they
know
run.
that.
Yeah, they run the circuit on that. So, but no, they're relatively new, I would feel.
That's cool. When's the last time they played there? Was that
With
recent?
they actually opened up for I Hate God.
God, okay. I had a feeling there.
Yeah.
I will. That's a band that I would purchase stuff from. Like it's just one of those things. When I really like something, like I'm buying the merch. If they have CDs, I'm buying them.
You talking about I Hate God? Or you talking about Psychic Bastard? Or both?
Psych Bastard. I hate.
Okay.
I already own some of their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love finding a new metal band. It's that I guess when it comes down to it, I metal is where I gravitate towards.
Hmm.
But hey, punk rock and industrial, ambient, all kinds, alternative folk, blues. I mean, I got I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
But passionate. If somebody asks me what I listen to, I predominantly say metal. But rock and roll in general.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot. I like all rock and roll. I will. There's good and bad, and then there's better.
Yeah.
Metal takes it to another level for me.
Yeah.
Anything else we should know about this group?
No, they're absolute sweethearts. Always a pleasure to work with.
Wow. And don't you love it when a band has that sound? And more often than not, they're the nicest people in the world.
Oh yeah. And it's like I know for instance we had a band. It's like we want to get there right as you open up and do sound check. It's like so that can go one or two ways. They're gonna be divas or they want to start getting drunk immediately after everything's already set up and then like kind of be sloshed whenever they get on stage. But it's always fun. It's like, okay, well, we're here having fun. It's like, oh, okay, good. I thought you guys were gonna be huge assholes. It's like, oh no, come on, let's go turn
do,
it
you
up.
have, do you have another, for instance, you can share with us?
No, no,
Yeah. No, we're not gonna
no.
do that. All right. All right, folks. Sit back and take in a little Psychic Bastard. The song that you gave me. What did you give me?
I think it's Billy Club.
It is Billy Club. Yes. Yes. All right. So sit back and listen to that, folks. We'll get right back to you with Lord Wynter himself of the Intracoastal Club. Folks, that was Billy Club. And that was Psychic Bastard. If you're a fan of Godflesh, I can't see turning your head away from that band. I don't know how you feel about that, Lord Wynter.
Love it.
Before we forget, why don't you give out your socials and how we find you and the Intracoastal Club?
We're at Intercoastal Club on Facebook. I'm pretty sure we have an Instagram. I know I run the YouTube channel. It's at WYNTERWERX with an X, with my name spelled with a Y.
Yes,
Um,
very important, folks.
but yeah, me personally, I don't really do too much. Again, as conversations we had in the prior to this, I'm normally in the background of everything, so not too much of my art, not too much of my writing or whatever. But showcasing everyone else.
Showcasing everyone else. Always the bridesmaid, right? I understand. Let's see. I should make mention of this coming up pretty soon. Well, June, if you want to call it June 7th, the weekend of June 7th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm actually going to be working a Bigfoot convention in Marionville, PA. Those are fun. You want to talk
Yeah.
about open-minded folks because
Yeah.
it's all cryptid stuff, and
Yeah.
I meet interesting writers, speakers. The guys from some of those Bigfoot shows will be there and stuff. That's coming up
Huh.
very soon. Um, the reason I'm bringing that up, and that again, folks, Marionville, June 7th through 9th, I believe, PA, if you're in the area. I don't know where you stand with this stuff. I probably should have hit you up earlier. I had a life-changing moment. This past weekend in my hometown here, I'm like 9 miles south of Pittsburgh in the suburbs, and at the local magistrate, they had a symposium slash panel slash conventional talk, whatever you wanted, and it was a full house on UFOs, aliens, our government, and just the type of stuff. We've had some interesting folks here, like Chuck Sikowski, who lost his badge due to UFOs and investigating and overstepping boundaries. This panel had very educated folks, including a cop who's already retired, so he's not at risk, who would answer the call to people with, that saw something.
Yeah.
These are credible people, some with things to lose, and
Right.
others. And what I saw that day, well, for where do you stand with UFOs and the drone invasion we just had and the government hiding stuff?
It feels like the drones were probably just testing out stuff, but I mean, space is so big, like
Yeah.
statistically speaking, either we're super duper early or there's stuff out there that we just can't get to. I mean, space is so mind-numbingly big, like
Mind-numbingly,
some
yeah.
got to be out there, or nothing's got to be out there. Who's to
The,
tell?
the consensus at this particular, and again, among educated people,
Yeah,
is that we're not invited to the party. We're not ready.
right.
We're not
Yeah,
ready yet. And but
we're
yeah,
not grabby enough. We got to be grabbier.
yeah, and that's why they grab us and take us, so to speak. Depending what you believe. I don't go the crazy route, but I'm a realist.
Right.
There's things up there we don't understand. There's
Absolutely.
things out there beyond us, and there has to be hope to God there's life on other planets. But this will give you a little hope here, because I don't get political on this show. And what I did see, a house full of people from different factions, all different factions. And Ronnie Reagan said this a long time ago: if aliens came down, we'd all have to band together. What I saw that day, and there was it was good, about a little less than 100 people in the room. And some were, streaming in from Washington, and there was a professor that chimed in, and my buddy Christine Soltis of Soltis Night Sky. If I don't plug her right now, I'll be in a lot of trouble. That's who I'm working with in Marionville, Soltis Night Sky. Christine's an excellent writer as well. But what we all saw that day, there was some bickering, some disagreements, and suddenly everybody realized this is bigger than us. And in the end, factions that hate each other, absolutely hate each other, and we know who they are.
Yeah.
We're friends at the end of it, saying, yeah, that is a little weird. Oh, yeah, maybe we shouldn't trust our government. Yeah. And people you wouldn't expect to say that.
Right.
It was just nice to see in all that zany weirdness, there was hope for the human race.
No, yeah. Because what's the alternative?
What is the alternative? Drone strikes on nuclear weapons, but it's just crazy stuff. But I had to add that in because it's fresh. It's just happened 3.5 days ago. And I don't know, I saw a little hope there for once. The same type of thing I see in a rock club, people like-minded getting together for music, whether it's rap or metal. And I've seen that happen too at a rap and metal show. Everybody just liking the same damn thing. I know you see it on the regular there.
We do. We cross pollinate a lot, where it's like
cross pollinate.
Like we'll have a drag show, and then it's like we'll follow our socials. We have something else interesting going on tomorrow, completely different, rap, metal, whatever. Everyone's invited.
I love it. I love it. And so what's next for your club? We got anything announcements you want to make coming up in the near future?
Well, like I said, Friday we have that synth therapy group coming back, and
Yeah,
to
that's
this time is the first time that they're having not DJs spinning tracks on the ones and twos. We actually have live performances. Scab actually is performing this Friday.
yeah,
So
not ZCAB, folks.
yeah.
I know why I said ZCAB before. I got to cut you off. There's a band called Gen Cab who I really like, and we played them on here a lot when I first started. I was affiliating them with them. I just totally made. That's why I said ZCAB.
Uh,
It's Scab. So Scab's coming.
yes, Scab's coming back to town. Yeah, so someone's got a keytar. You know you're having a good time whenever someone pulls out a keytar. So
Heck yeah. Any Snoopophones show up yet?
not yet that I'm aware of, but I'll definitely text you as soon as I
Ooh.
see one.
Oh man. Yeah, then I want them on.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. And I again back to Psychic Bastard. You got to keep me updated with them. I hope
Uh,
they're not breaking up, right? You said there's some changes, but
yeah, they're still finding their groove. Like I said, they play a lot in New Orleans, so it's always
okay,
a
I
treat
see.
whenever we get them back in town to play a set. So, but like I said, I'll reach out to them. I'll get your address. We'll send you a shirt, man. Don't worry.
Hey, I love it. You ever get anything like with the influx of things it seems that you do get there, like a KMFDM type band?
What do you mean by that?
Well, yeah, industrial metal, but it's all kind of live in your face
Uh,
with samples. They sample, I know that.
man, like I said, we get a lot of stuff. So I would have to say, just as a knee-jerk response, like, yeah,
Probably do.
probably.
You probably do. I'd be interested to see something like that in your club. Absolutely. Very, like Ministry in the synth pop days, but with
Yeah,
a little more guitar.
yeah,
What they would become. KMFDM was kind of doing that the whole way. But
gotcha.
yeah, I was just curious. You get that. And yeah, yeah. Have you had any celebrities there that you know of, or anybody walk in that you were surprised to see?
In terms of playing or in terms of showing up?
Both. You get Bill Murray showing up. He shows up at places.
You would never believe me if I told you, but that's no, we had JD Pincus play.
Yes.
That's a big one. We had
Butthole Surfers. Yep.
Butthole Surfers. Yeah, we had Louis Michaud, several Grammy Award winning with the Lost Bayou Ramblers. He's played.
All right.
Um, there was, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
now
you'll
now it's
think of
just
more after we finish this. You'll think of
yeah,
more.
we'll put them in the links at the bottom. Yeah, and of course,
Yeah.
I hate God. Can't say that one
Yeah.
enough.
I know,
We
right?
had Green Jello. We had
Oh, really?
yeah. Some guy almost pulled his pants down and shit in one of the little hats that they had. It's like, whoa. I get it, but pick it up, bud. So yeah, I got wacky.
That's pretty funny. I guess that's something they used to do.
Yeah. So just trying to ride the vibe.
Right. Great. Wow, that's a name I've not heard in a long time. Green Jelly. Well, it was Green Jello at first, and then they had
But
to
yeah, they had to change because of the copyright.
the whole 90s thing occurred. The early
Yeah.
cancellation, well, we used to call it censorship, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to bring that back. All right. We are gonna go out with Hemwick. This is now this guy Chris Carbone he's been on the show. He's a sound designer and he has his own band and it can be creepy, which I like about it. It can be offensive, which I like about it too. It tests the boundaries of sound and what you like, and just like what you said, the experimentation and not afraid to try. This guy's an expert though, and he actually performed some stuff in his basement for me, and it's creepy stuff. Creepy stuff. It gets in your DNA, but if you're a horror writer like myself, it helps. It helps. What are you working on next before I let you go? You have anything you're producing?
Just constant improvements to the system that we have. I'm changing things to improve the pirate television station that we're running to where we
Ah,
can do multiple stations on all the TVs to where you can have something for everything. Or like, oh, change it to channel 58. You can play video games, for instance. So stuff like that.
of course. That's awesome, man. I hope to be there one day.
Yeah,
And
if I do decide to learn how to play music, I'll definitely let you know and pass a couple CDs your way. So
please do. Oh, well, this is just the beginning. So we're gonna have you on again. Next time you have something you want to share, you let me know and
oh
I'll
yeah,
make time. I
oh
don't care
yeah.
if it's 20 minutes to 2 hours. I don't care. Sounds like you get some interesting things that come your way. Were there any Did you have any disappointments? Somebody that was going to come that didn't show up yet, or maybe something you're looking forward to?
I try to look on the bright side of life. So if it happens kind of thing. So
Okay.
no, I can't say I've ever really been super disappointed.
Keep riding the
Um,
wave.
yeah, yeah.
Keep riding that wave, brother.
Why
And
be negative whenever being positive is just as easy?
right. It really is. And like I said, what happened to me this past weekend was a very weird epiphany at
Hmm.
an alien UFO conference.
Yeah,
Just seeing people get along and, initially not, and then
yeah,
bringing it together. That's what it takes.
yeah.
Music, I think music has that power, and it's a lot easier to do
Oh yes.
than, bringing a panel together, talking about, starships crashing into the earth. And with that note, folks, you can find us on iHeartRadio and Spotify, Kettle Whistle Radio on Instagram, and of course, fairlydarkproductions.com. All the episodes are there. Look for some horror novels and books if you want. There's a comic book there. There's a trailer I'd like people to check out for Demon Eye, a comic book, all fully color anime that I did years ago. That Erica did Erica, who was on with us last time, and she's one of our revolving co-hosts here. She developed this video that's a trailer for the comic book, and if you go to fairlydarkproductions.com, it's the first thing that pops up. You can click on it, and it's really cool. There's a song by a band called Magnet School that does Swan Dive is the name of the song that I asked for their permission to use. It just fits this trailer, and you being who you are, sir, I think you'll appreciate it.
I'm gonna
And I
check it
want to
out.
thank you, Lord Wynter, for coming on. And we're going to go out with something creepy because that's the way it is. But they do like it when I ask, do you have a favorite horror movie?
I can't think of anything specific. I know the one that keeps coming back and sticking in my mind that like messed with me the most was The Ring whenever it came out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know that they have the classic answers like um The
No,
Exorcist scarred everyone in my family, so I wasn't allowed to ever watch it. So I to this day I still have not seen that movie. I should probably give it a watch.
you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch the director's cut. You get more out of it now. Maybe watch the original first and then go back and see what they filled it up with. Yeah, definitely. But The Ring is a good pick. I don't care what anybody says. And that came
Yeah.
up today really strange at work today. So yeah, you just kind of double whammy there. But yeah, The Ring, if you want to go back to The Ring, go to the Korean prequel, which is
Mm.
excellent. Ringu. That
Yes.
one that bothered me. That one,
Oh yeah.
not many do, but that one, ooh, yeah, good one. I like to be bothered. All right. And also, folks, check out Celebration of Spirits for the artist in you. And check out Jess Weary's music on there as well. She'll be back. Ooh, yeah, she's had a rough time. There's a lot of bad viruses going around right now that kind of stay with people, like the
Mm.
3-month virus. I hope you guys aren't getting those. Right now,
Not that we're aware of yet. I guess it's
man.
we just got through Mardi Gras, so
Yeah.
is everyone is recovering from Mardi Gras, so everything seems fine.
Yeah, you could see these guys right after the hot off the press on Mardi Gras on the last episode before this one on 312. Check it out on Spotify. And I'm gonna say goodnight to the folks here. You stick around for a moment with me, sir, but thanks for doing this.
Anytime.
All right.